The 457 visa program is no stranger to scrutiny, but are some of the negative perceptions unjustified? Simon Haag of Fragomen Global Corporate Immigration Lawyers says sometimes the original intentions behind the 457 are misunderstood.
The previous government introduced a number of additional requirements into the criteria for the 457 visa program that were premised on concerns about integrity of the program. But what became apparent was a perception that employers were abusing the 457 program if they employed people on 457 visas without first having tested the Australian labour market, when in fact the 457 program was designed to allow multinational companies to move staff from an overseas office of their business into the Australian office of the same business. We've seen a groundswell of support and demand for an expedited pathway, whether that's part of the 457 visa program or a standalone visa category that facilitates the processing of applications in the case of these intra-corporate transfers.
Haag says that multinationals often wish to develop talent within different areas of the globe.
A growing area of the migration program that we're seeing is where people are being assigned to Australia as part of a talent development rotation. So multinational companies are cottoning on to talent development and retention programs whereby they identify future leaders across their whole business globally and engage them in management training rotations through multiple markets. Australia is a popular destination for these kind of management training programs because Australia is a relatively mature market compared to emerging economies in our region. Currently, the processing time for these kinds of visa applications is 2 to 3 months, and that's creating challenges because the turnaround times for these kinds of rotations are often quite tight.
Alec Bashinsky of Deloitte confirms this is a frustration that they have experienced.
One of our frustrations sometimes is the whole concept of the 457 visa issue, and I'm sure there are many people out there listening to this smiling in the same context, and that is that we see a lot of our Gen X, Gen Y or the millennials wanting part of their career experience to be overseas. So we're quite happy to let them go and other countries provide that mobility. Perhaps the frustration is that we have a very thin pipeline because of 457 visas that doesn't allow the right type of talent to come into this country.
Haag believes that the current government's appetite for deregulation will lead to an easier ride for multinationals in this respect in the future.
What we've seen from the current government is a real appetite for deregulation in all areas of government, but including the migration program, up to the point where doing so would not affect negatively the integrity of the program. So the questions being posed by the government are, how much red tape can we safely do away with? To what extent can government get out of the way of business and let business do what it does best, while ensuring that employers are complying with their sponsorship obligations, that 457 workers are adequately protected and informed, and that there are training and employment opportunities for Australians in these companies. Government announced an independent review of the 457 visa program in February this year. The points regarding intra-corporate transfers and the challenges that companies face with those were put to the review panel, and we look forward to seeing their recommendations when they're finalised later in the year.